Singapore and Vietnam to bolster ties. Vietnam securities market to remove foreign ownership cap. Hello, this is Ling Hương, and it's good to see you again on another episode of Beast Line, brought to you by VTV International. And as usual, we'll start with several highlights in the economic scene for the past week. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Phạm Bình Minh attended the 5th Vietnam-Singapore Foreign Affairs Exchange, which took place in Hanoi on August 17th. Representatives from Vietnam and Singapore agreed on stronger measures to accelerate economic cooperation and intergovernmental collaboration. Secretary of the Singaporean Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Chi Huy Kyong, reaffirmed that Singapore will create favorable conditions for Vietnamese businesses and workers to enter the Singaporean market. Both nations are committed to constructing a prosperous ASEAN economic community, which will be established at the end of this year. The 6th International Conference on Public Finance took place on August 17th and 18th this week in the central city of Da Nang. The conference is held between 4 parliamentary committees from Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia and Myanmar, along with the participation of international economic experts and financial institutions. The conference underscored the importance of the National Assembly and came to the conclusion that improving the quality of the National Assembly's supervisory work in finance and budgetary areas will raise the efficiency of investment resources, budget disbursement, and the use of people's tax, as well as map out appropriate directions for economic development and global integration. The conference ended with all 4 countries agreed to strengthen cooperation between legislatures. The State Bank of Vietnam raised the value of the Vietnamese dong by 1% and loosened its exchange band from +-2% to +-3% as of Wednesday. The interbank Vietnamese dong US dollar exchange rate has been raised from 21,673 Vietnamese dong per US dollar to 21,890 Vietnamese dong per US dollar. According to the State Bank of Vietnam, the exchange band was first raised from +-1% to +-2% the previous week to deal with the devaluation of the Chinese yuan, the most significant in the past 2 decades. Ho Chi Minh City will build a special economic zone encompassing District 7, Nha Be, Bình Chánh and Cần Giờ in order to fully tap the southern economic hub's potential and advantages for further development. The zone is intended to create breakthroughs in production, export and import activities, thus luring more investment in the city. The Ho Chi Minh Institute for Development Studies has been assigned to verify mechanisms and policies regarding the special economic zone model and study lessons at home and abroad in implementing the model, then selecting the most suitable and feasible options. Japan's Hokugan company intends to build a tuna processing plant in the central coastal province of Phú Yên. According to the Provincial Department of Planning and Investment, the Japanese firm has studied a 1.65 square kilometer site in Dong Tak fishing port for its investment since September 2014. The plant will be designed with a capacity of 1,800 tons per month. The company also aims to build an ice manufacturing plant to preserve fishery products and will invest in equipment and transfer technology to local fishermen. Local authorities said the province will address land clearance over 3 months and continue to exchange information with the Japanese firm to accelerate the implementation of this project. Phú Yên is one of Vietnam's leading localities in tuna catching, with 6,000 tons of ocean tuna on a yearly basis. 500 Startups, the US-led venture capital firm, continues its push into Southeast Asia after hiring 2 partners in Vietnam. A sign it will soon launch a local fund for startups in the country. With a population of 90 million, more than half of whom are under 30, Vietnam has become an attractive destination for investors. It is a mobile-first market with huge potential for tech and internet businesses. 500 Startups is best known for its Silicon Valley Accelerator program, but has been active in Asia and other parts of the world for several years, recently expanding its fund for Southeast Asia startups by another $5 million. And those are what have made headlines in the economic scene for the past week. Up next, we'll learn more about the new decree on foreign ownership cap in listed companies in Vietnam in our crosstalk. On June 26th of 2015, the Vietnamese government has issued Decree 60, which for the first time removes the 49% cap on foreign ownership in some listed companies. The decree is set to be effective on September 1st. This long-awaited and unprecedented change in the stock market has received great attention of both local and international experts. World investor communities have discussed this matter on renowned media publishers such as the Wall Street Journal and Global Capital website. To learn more about this new regulation, in this week's edition of Crosstalk, our reporter had an interview with Mr. Chen Lê-minh, Deputy CEO of Viet Fund Management. But before we talk, let's take an overview of foreign investment present in the local stock market in the following clip.
According to Decree 58 issued in 2012 implementing the law on securities, voting shares held by overseas investors were subject to a 49% ownership cap. 31 companies were reported in meeting this limitation, including the most profitable stocks, such as FPT, REE, SSI, and VNM, who make up 30% of the total market's capitalization value. As soon as the new Decree 60 was approved by the Prime Minister, stock market performance saw an immediate increase in trading volume and value. This has ranked Vietnam 12th among the 74 fastest-growing stock markets in the world, according to CNN Money. Foreign investment in 17 of July's 20 trading sessions witnessed positive net buying value on both national bourses. The largest net buying value fell on June the 26th, the day Decree 60 was approved, with $21 million recorded. Over the one-month period from the 26th of June to the 26th of July, foreign investors' average net buying value reached around $5 million per day. In the first 7 months of this year, the Vietnamese stock market has received a positive foreign investments inflows. So what are the reasons behind this phenomenon?
Except for the month of March, we have a negative inflow. The other months we have positive inflow. And it's really good if we have take a look at the bigger picture to other market in the region. We have India, Philippines, Indonesia market have negative inflow in the period from April to July. During that period, we have a positive inflow about 20 million per month. And I think that is the way people see Vietnamese market have a better potential to the investors. So they are putting money in. While for the other markets, under the pressure of the Fed rate hike and other reasons, money is pulling out from those markets. That is reflect the positive reaction from foreign investor because they see the Vietnamese market as a promising market in terms of good fundamental in comparison to other neighbor countries. And more important, this is Vietnam is going to open for a ownership limit by end of this year. And that I think the process of opening the room for foreigner to own Vietnamese stock is quite clear to all of us, and I think that is the way the people react to that news, and they move ahead of the curve.
According to Decree 60, foreign investors will be able to increase their ownership in a number of unconditional business sectors. The list of these sectors will be released after the decree comes into effect.
Nghị định đã quy định rõ trường hợp điều ước quốc tế mà Việt Nam là thành viên có quy định về tỷ lệ sở hữu nước ngoài thì thực hiện theo điều ước quốc tế. Trường hợp công ty đại chúng hoạt động trong ngành nghề đầu tư kinh doanh mà pháp luật về đầu tư, pháp luật liên quan có quy định về tỷ lệ sở hữu nước ngoài thì thực hiện theo quy định của pháp luật đó. Đối với công ty đại chúng hoạt động trong ngành nghề đầu tư kinh doanh có điều kiện áp dụng đối với nhà đầu tư nước ngoài mà chưa có quy định cụ thể thì tỷ lệ sở hữu nước ngoài tối đa là 49%. Với trường hợp công ty đại chúng hoạt động đa ngành nghề có quy định khác nhau về tỷ lệ sở hữu nước ngoài thì sở hữu nước ngoài không vượt quá mức thấp nhất trong các ngành nghề mà công ty đó hoạt động có quy định về tỷ lệ sở hữu nước ngoài, trừ trường hợp đối quốc tế có quy định khác. Và đối với công ty đại chúng không thuộc các trường hợp nêu trên thì tỷ lệ sở hữu nước ngoài là không hạn chế, trừ trường hợp điều lệ công ty có quy định khác.
Trong thời gian tới thì nghị định 60 thì nó sẽ góp phần quan trọng như là tạo ra một cái thông điệp để mà thu hút tốt hơn nữa cái dòng vốn đầu tư nước ngoài vào thị trường chứng khoán cũng như là vào nền kinh tế Việt Nam.
At a conference introducing Vietnam to U.S. investors held by the Ministry of Finance in New York earlier this July, the Minister of Finance Đinh Tiến Dũng reaffirmed the government's efforts in opening up stock market environment to foreign investors.
Không những các cái công ty niêm yết nhưng kể cả những công ty bảo hiểm đã được nới room đến 100%. Những ngành nghề kinh doanh có điều kiện của Việt Nam như là kinh doanh trong lĩnh vực an ninh quốc phòng thì chúng ta có hạn chế. Thì chúng tôi cho rằng là đây là những cái điều kiện rất là tốt và nó thúc đẩy cái dòng vốn đầu tư nước ngoài, gián tiếp nước ngoài vào Việt Nam và qua đó nó cũng làm tái cơ cấu lại cái thị trường tài chính, thị trường tiền tệ của Việt Nam trong thời gian tới.
In efforts to better facilitate the implementation of Decree 60, on August 19, the Ministry of Finance issues guiding circulars 123 to clarify some important administration procedure points. The circular immediately received investors' community's attention.
The Vietnamese stock market has been established for 15 years. However, only until after the Decree 60, which will take effect by this September, that will foreign investors can hold up to 100% of ownership in a local companies. So, what are the motivations behind this milestone decision?
We have to comply with our commitment to WTO and other FTA as well. And but the main thing I think is now the Vietnamese economy is more and more integrated to the international system, and open the financial market is one of the first step in that way of integration. For security, for Vietnamese security market, now is the time for us to have a stronger action to meet the demand from investor. So that is the reason why we have to open our free ownership limit at this moment.
Regarding the newly issued Circular 123, do you think that the guidance fully covers all the concerning issues by the foreign investors?
Yeah, I think this is a long story, and the issuance of the Circular 123 regulating the free ownership limit is really meet the demand from the market in general and for a investor is specific, because you know that the proposal from foreign investor through Vietnam Business Forum and be more specific is from Vietnam Equity Market Working Group in VBF. We have proposed so many times to Vietnamese government easing the free ownership limit. I think it's the content of Circular 123 is quite good. The first thing is it reduce the volume of administration workload. It simplifies the procedure for foreigner to invest in Vietnam. I think it's more than welcome. And the second thing is it clearly indicates what to do and how a listed company should do in order to change the free ownership limit. However, I think we are now have wait for the restoration list in order to know which areas we can increase our free ownership. And the second thing is now the decision of what level foreign investor can invest in a company is based on the decision from the company shareholder.
According to market experts, the circular addressed some important changes relating to administrative procedures required for foreign investors in the stock market. positive feedbacks to the changes are recorded among the public.
Đối với các nhà đầu tư nước ngoài, khi họ muốn mở tài khoản giao dịch trên thị trường khoán Việt Nam thì các cái thủ tục pháp lý cũng như là các cái bước chuẩn bị giao dịch đã được đơn giản hóa hơn rất nhiều so với giai đoạn trước đây.
Thì chúng tôi cũng cho rằng đó là một cái thay đổi rất là tích cực từ phía chính sách theo hướng hỗ trợ cái sự phát triển của thị trường cũng như là theo hướng định hướng tới thị trường theo cái thông lệ quốc tế.
The implementation of Degree 60 certainly presents a wide range of investment opportunities for foreign investors in Vietnam. But it will also come with some confusion, as no such decision has ever been made in the past.
Nó còn một cái bước đi khá là quan trọng, phải chờ các cái văn bản hướng dẫn tới đây của Bộ Kế hoạch Đầu tư liên quan đến cái danh sách quy định cụ thể tỷ lệ phần trăm room cho các nhà đầu tư nước ngoài đối với các cái nhóm ngành kinh doanh có điều kiện trên thị trường chứng khoán Việt Nam. Thì cái thông tin này thực ra mới là cái thông tin mà nhà đầu tư đã và đang kỳ vọng nhất trên thị trường hiện nay.
More guidelines are expected down the road in order to ensure the degree reaches its full effect.
As the foreign investment ownership cap will be removed, local companies will stand a risk of being acquired by foreign companies. Do you think this is a real risk for local companies?
I don't think so. From two different perspectives. Threat of being acquired by foreign firms is already existent if the Vietnamese firm is not strong enough. From other technical point, you know that it's not easy to acquire a Vietnamese company at this moment because we have some kind of barrier. For example, now the regulation requires you to do the public announcement if you want to buy and take over a company, a listed company. And for other technical perspective, you can see that we have a list of restricted industry, which the government just allowed foreign investor buy up to a certain limit. If we go into detail, right, I think in the list will be 267 industry, which either government will hold up to 100% or limit the ownership of foreigners to a certain limit. I think that list is cover a large portion of the economy, and from my point of view, the relaxation of the limit will be do step by step. Yeah, we cannot open the door right away. So I think we have so many technical barriers to control and to minimize the negative impact of this issue.
According to Morgan Stanley Capital International, or MSCI, one of the world's most prestigious stock market classification, Vietnam sits in the MSCI's Frontiers Market Index alongside Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. In recent years, Vietnamese government has accelerated the country's development in terms of market environment, with aims to be able to move the countries from the frontier market group into the emerging group. MSCI is one of the few soft indicators that have influential effects on investors' decisions in finding the most attractive stocks across the globe.
On the bright side, the removal of a foreign ownership cap will make Vietnamese stock markets more accessible to foreign investors. In your opinion, will this pave the way for Vietnamese stocks to be represented in international indices such as the MSCI emerging markets?
Yes, I think it is very, very positive. It's very positive because you know that from view of Vietnam Securities Commission, bring the Vietnamese security market to the MSCI Emerging Market Index is one of the key targets in the coming years. From our study, we found that there's two factors will strongly affect to the decision of MSCI in doing that. The first one is limit of foreign ownership, And the second thing is the floating of the exchange rate. Foreign unemployment is very important for an investor to access to the market. Yeah, so I think it's quite reasonable if we think that is the key factors affect to the decision. Now we clear one of the door and open the foreign ownership limit is a big push forward to bring the Vietnamese market to MSCI Emerging Market Index.
What are the benefits of the Vietnamese stock market with its transition from a frontier market to an emerging market?
Yes, of course, because you know that the risk level of the frontier markets and emerging market is so different. And if we can move up to the emerging market, we can attract a lot of attention, more attention from foreign investors. When we move up to the emerging market, that means market has been sizable enough to a certain levels. And when the market is big enough, foreign investor can come in to trade easily, right? The liquidity of market also be improved.
A conference to promote investment in Vietnam took place in New York in early July. The event gathered representatives of 150 foreign investment funds. Here, the most interesting points involved expanding room for foreign investors and allowing them higher stakes in Vietnamese publicly listed companies following Decree 60.
It was very informative. I think they did a good job of informing us of what is happening in the country, the macroeconomic environment, the policies that they're going to endeavor to take on.
So which sectors are the most attractive in the eyes of foreign investors?
And I'm very focused on transportation and this concept of a regional airport hub.
I think you'll see the energy sector, the mining sector, the gaming and leisure sector as sectors where you'll see infusions of cash into your country.
The liberalization of trade will obviously be a real positive for Vietnam, so maybe the textile sector, obviously the banking sector after its consolidation over these last few years could be very interesting.
To me, the top three are technology, electric utilities, and telecommunications. Those three are the because all of the things that are going to be happening where huge investments, like in smart grid worldwide, they're going to be investing $1 trillion.
When the decree takes effect in this September, which sectors, in your opinion, will be of the most attractive?
Yeah, I think we can answer this question by watching the stock price move. During the day when the Circular 123 have been signed, the price of Ho Chi Minh Security Company and Saigon Security Company jump up a lot. I think that reflects the sector which people care about. Security is the first sector foreigner can hold up to 100%. So I think security, bank, and fast-moving consumer companies is very interested by the foreigners. Foreign investor would like to invest in those companies or in those sectors because they see the potential of those sectors. For some sectors, it's related to the population of Vietnam. 96 million people is a huge market.
In your opinion, what should local businesses do in preparation to fully take advantage of the upcoming new foreign investors' investments?
I think investors care a lot about the transparency of the market. Yeah, the transparent in doing business and better in investor relation can help listed company in Vietnam attract the attention of the investors. Of course, if we go further a little bit to the operation, it should be some kind well prepared for the FTA. Because FTA is very, very good chance for us in the coming years. And the company which can utilize that chance with FTAs can have a very, very good chance to grow up fast in coming years. Yeah, either by domestic investment or foreign investment.
As a leading investment management company, what are your insights and expectations of the market's performance when the Degree 60 takes effect?
Yeah, I think, as I said before, the market react very positive to issuance of Degree 60 and the Circular 123. So I think in the coming times, market will keep that good sentiments, because you know that now we have to wait a little bit for individual companies to issue the level of foreign ownership after they have the shareholder decision. So I think the sentiment is still there. It will help the market to move in a positive direction.
Once again, thank you very much for the interview.
The ease of the foreign ownership cap is one of the most significant changes in law recently, as with the amended law on enterprises and the law on investment, which took effect this July. The decree is another key step in Vietnam's opening up to foreign investors, making the market more competitive, accessible, and investor-friendly. Furthermore, the new decree is consistent with Vietnam's international treaty commitments, such as the World Trade Organization member commitment, under the context of wider and more profound international integration. And that just wrapped up this week's edition of East Line. Thank you very much for being with us. Repeats of our show are all online at vtv4.vn or youtube.com/vtv4go. And for now, goodbye from Hanoi.